This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through your 2020 Forest River Salem Cruise Lite, model 282 QBXL. Okay, I'm on the door side of the trailer, and I'm walking towards the back. Okay, so let's see here. If I'm not mistaken, right here at the back there'll be a quick connect for your LP fitting or LP hose. You can hook a grill or any low pressure LP appliance up right there. Okay. You also have a pull out griddle here with this cord on it also. So this is a male quick connect end. Let me see if I can get it on camera here. See what I can do here. There we go. That looks like that. So when you pull this out, you'll come down here and it probably goes all the way over to that spot there. Yep, sure enough. And you'll plug it into the spot I just showed you. Okay, so you have to plug it in to get gas to it. The gas is drawn right from the LP system, right from your tanks up front. So as you use it, you'll be using the gas from your two LP tanks in front. Okay, all right. Excuse my camera work here. All right, you've got just 110 AC refrigerator here. As soon as you plug in the trailer, it turns on. Now this hose with a sprayer is just that, a hose and a sprayer. It has another quick connect on it. That can be plugged in right here. Okay, so you can spray things down. Kids and dogs and feet and shins and bicycles, whatever you want to hose down. Okay. There's power there. You got a power awning on it. Outside speakers. This is the range hood vent right here for your range hood. Make sure it flaps freely when you're running the fan. Okay. Otherwise, you keep it shut like this. Okay. All right. This here is. There's two ways to get water to your trailer. The most common way is going to be your city water hookup, which is on the other side of the trailer. But if you go to a campsite that does not have plumbing on the campsite, you can pre-fill your tank, your onboard fresh water tank right here. If you fill it, you can use the electric water pump and pump the water. So everything will operate in the trailer just like you have city water, even if you don't have plumbing on the campsite, which is a good thing. I'll show you the fresh water hookup when we get to the other side, okay? That's your fresh water drain there. You can see it's a white gate valve there. And you just pull on that to drain your fresh water tank when you move it on and you don't want to carry it with you. Your steps fold inside the trailer, but you can adjust the legs just by pulling this pin out here. Hopefully you can see that. Let me see if I can. I have a hard time seeing the monitor here. Hold on. Where's my hand? Right here. Okay, yeah. So anyway, you can pull this pin and adjust the legs for to the terrain, so it sits stable the way it sits. You have a scissor jack, stabilizer scissor type jack that's operated with a 3/4 inch crank, or with a fitting like that goes into your drill. Okay. Now this particular unit, let me see back here. Yeah, this particular unit has an added feature. They're called strong arms. It's this yellow device here. There's one on each stabilizer jack. Basically, it takes the forward and backward movement out of the trailer once you're stabilized. So to move it up and down, to move this up and down, you want this loosened here. Then when you put it down into position, you don't lift the trailer with the jacks. Obviously, you just take the shake out of it, you stabilize it. Then when you get them down, you'll tighten this up here, and it tightens basically this inner tube, so it locks into place so you don't get that forward and backward movement. But when you're bringing the jacks up and down, you always want to loosen this, okay? And that goes for all four corners. A lot of times a strong arm is an add-on, you know, an accessory, but this trailer comes with it, so It really helps in stabilizing the trailer. Okay, so while I'm here, I can show you that this device here is a crank. That's in case your tongue jack loses power. You can always crank it manually. And this device you'll have to read about in your directions, but it has to do with bringing the awning in and out during if it happens to fail. Okay, it's better you read that as you're doing it. Also, this is just a hookup for a solar battery panel. So if you want to put a solar panel on connected here to charge the battery, you would just hook it up right here. This particular one's a Furrion. Okay. I mentioned that you can crank the powered tongue jack. You can do that by taking this cap off right here and putting that crank that I just showed you on it there and cranking it. Okay. You got two LP tanks, a deep cycle marine battery, and a kill switch for the battery right there. So it's on right now. It should always be on unless you're putting it into storage for a long period of time, okay? Otherwise you're gonna have to connect it. Okay. Your slide out, this type of slide out is referred to as a Schwinn-Tech. Even though it's owned by Lippert now, it's still referred to as a Schwinn-Tech by most people. You can tell by the two tracks on each side of the slide walls, both front and back wall. Okay. Schwinn-Tech. Okay, so this is where you would dump your trailer at right here. So let me come on down here. So basically you've got two gray tanks. You've got this one here. That's your galley gray tank. I would assume, let me think, I'm trying to picture the configuration of the trailer. Yes, so that's a gray tank there, even though it has a black handle. This is your main gray tank, and this is your black tank valve. So the black tank is toilet water and waste. The gray tanks are sink and shower water. Normally closed like this. So when they're closed, they're in the in position. So basically, you're going to hook your hose up right here, put it in the dump station. Then you're going to dump your black tank first. The reason you do that because it's dirtier water than the gray water. And the cleaner gray water will just flush out the hose from the black water, which is toilet water and waste. So for obvious reasons, you would use the gray second to wash it out a bit. Okay. This second gray tank is sometimes referred to as a galley tank. We'll see when we get inside what they call it, but it's either gray tank number 2 or a galley tank. Okay. Now let me see here. Let me get on my feet once again. Come around here for 1 second. Okay, so this is a black tank flush right here. So, like it says on this sticker here, if you can read it, it says never turn the water on to your flush without having the black tank valve open. So right now we left it open, right like this. Right, so that's good. So we would bring your hose over here from the dump station, you would screw it right on here, then turn on the water, and it'll spray the inside of your black tank and clean it out. It cleans off the sensors and just generally sprays out the tank, so it's a good thing. It gets your black tank even cleaner. Now, I mentioned to you you could fill the onboard water tank when you're at a campsite that doesn't have plumbing, but if it has regular plumbing, you're just going to use the city water hookup right here. That's the most common way you'll get water to the trailer. Okay, you just hook it up, turn it on, you're all set. Cable and satellite through, those are just coaxes through to the entertainment center. All right, and this is your power cord. It pulls out here. It's 30 amps and 30 feet long. Okay, we do give you a reducer to reduce it down to a 15 amp so you can plug it in home. But remember, you can't run your air conditioner with a 15 amp system. It'll eventually pop your circuit breaker. All right, so your water heater works on gas. The switch to operate it is inside. I just want to show you that this is where you drain it right here. Okay, so you'll just unscrew that plug. It's an 1 1/16 6-point socket. You'll need to unscrew that. So you want to get an 1 1/16 6-point socket. Say that 3 times fast. And that's what you use to drain the water out. Let me get that back on there. I'm going to leave this off because I noticed that this needs to be tightened on here, so I'll just leave it open so I can point it out to our guy. Alright, so This housing here just tells us that this is pre-wired for a backup camera. This one takes a Furrion camera, so if you get one, I mean, we sell them here, but you can buy them other places, obviously. So if you get one, make sure it's a Furrion camera that fits into that housing. And all you have to do is plug it in and screw it to the housing there, and you're all set. When you turn your running lights on, it'll light up the camera so you can see behind you when you're backing up or driving down the road, or both. Also, while we're looking up, I have to tell you that you have to inspect the roof of your trailer. All trailer owners have to do this, even though some don't. Do it, but you have to do it for your own protection. So you're going to go up there 3 times a season. You're going to go up there in the spring, you'll go up there in the fall, and then once in the middle of the summer. You can walk around no problem, just be careful, or send somebody else up there. And you're going to look for separation or cracking every place you see sealant on the roof. Some years, sometime you're going to see it, you're going to have it taken care of. But that's the idea. You don't know when. It could be years. You don't really know. So that's why you go up there and inspect it. It could be a year from now, or it could be 5 years from now. But eventually, all trailers have to be resealed. You don't have to reseal the entire roof when you see something wrong, just that area. Okay, so make sure you inspect it, please. Okay, let's go inside. Here's my co-worker, Amanda, diligently at work. Okay, let's get some light, Amanda, so I can see what I can get here. Okay, so here we are at the control panel. You have a power awning. I'm not going to take it all the way out. I'll just give you an idea. Here, it goes out like so, back in like so. You never leave it out unattended. If you're leaving the campsite, roll it in, because it can get damaged by the wind very quickly. So you always want to roll it in when you're not there. Your slide room, I'll bring it in just a hair. Like so. And out like so. Okay. Your water pump that I told you about, you can pump your own water by turning that on. You only use that if you don't use that if you have city water. You'll also use this when you're winterizing the trailer also, just in case you winterize it yourself. The water heater to light it is just that one right there. To check your levels, your battery is charged, as you can see. Always check your battery when you're not plugged in though. Fresh water has a third full, but we're still water testing it. Black water is empty. As it fills, it'll go up in 1/3 increments. As you can see, once you get past 2/3, you're going to have to think about dumping the tank in the gray tank. So this only has one gray tank. That second valve is it just basically separates the system, so it's not actually flushing a second tank like I thought it was originally. So you just have one gray tank, and keep that in mind anyway, so you know. All right, so that's how you check your levels right there. Let me look this way just to see what we've got. Okay, this is the bedroom, of course. Okay, so your sound system is just you can stream off this USB port right here. Just put all your favorite albums on a USB stick, and you're all set. You can hook up wirelessly with Bluetooth and stream audio and video from your phone or tablet. You can go into the system through this HDMI, for example. If you wanted to add a game machine into the system or something like that for rainy days. You have 2 zones, zone 1 and zone 2, which is inside. 1 is inside, 2 is outside of the trailer. That sort of thing. Your fireplace is a really good space heater. It works on 110 AC, so as long as you're plugged into the campsite, you don't have to use up your LP gas. You're running your furnace like on a cooler evening or morning. You just turn that on, and you can set the different temperatures, high and low. You can adjust the look of the flame. There's a timer on it, so there's a lot of things you can do with it. It's a good space heater. Okay. Now I just want to tell you that this should be green. This is where you hook your TV up to, and this green light is the signal booster for the digital antenna. You can shut it off, but when you're using the antenna, you're always going to want it on, because you'll get a lousy picture if you don't. This King Connect deal here says it's pre-wired for Wi-Fi. This is just pre-wired for a signal booster and router. If you're interested, we sell these. If you're interested in it, you can go to kingconnect.com, like it says right there, and look at the different packages. You're going to want to get the one with the antenna on the roof. Okay, that's very important. But it'll just give you better public Wi-Fi, and everybody can connect, put their passwords to the router into their phones and tablets, And then when you get to the campsite, you'll just go to the IP address for your King Connect, and you'll be able to hook up to the public Wi-Fi. It gives you a boosted signal, that sort of thing. Built-in firewall, I believe, on this one too, or also. So, but it's something that's just it's gonna give you better Wi-Fi when you're dealing with public Wi-Fi. Okay, so it's pre-wired for that. There'll be another panel similar to that, or it'll be another panel anyway on the roof where the antenna would hook up to. Okay. Alrighty, so your range. Let me set the camera down for a second. I need two hands here. I'm wrestling with it. There we go. Okay, so I'll pick it up again here. So I don't know if they got the gas on or not, but we'll see here. You go to Lite and then spark it. Doesn't look like it. But you turn the sparker clockwise, and obviously if the gas is on, it'll light. For the oven, you have to light this with a grill lighter. Down here there's a pilot light all the way at the back. I don't know if you can see it there or not. But what you do is you'll come to the oven knob. You'll go to pilot, and then you're going to depress it and hold it in. Then you would take your grill lighter with the long neck on it, and you would light the pilot light in the back. After it lights, you're still holding this in. You hold it for another 10 seconds or so to heat it up. Then you go to operating temperature, and it cycles like an oven does. Then, when you shut it off, obviously the flame goes off, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. This is your range hood vent that I told you about, or your range hood fan, I mean. And I told you about the vent on the outside having it flap freely. Okay. I think I'm starting to get affected by the heat again at this time of day. Your light, obviously, you've seen a light before. Your microwave works like any other microwave. Now your refrigerator is 12 volt. It's a compressor type refrigerator, but it runs on 12 volt DC. So that means you can run it pulling it down the road. Your alternator on your tow vehicle will charge your battery, and your battery will feed the refrigerator, or I should say it draws from the refrigerator, draws from the battery. And so the compressor runs on 12 volts. So that, you know, in some refrigerators they'll have the gas absorption, which will also run on LP gas, so you can pull it down the road on that. But this is a system everybody seems to be going to, because the main reason is it's that when you look at the cubic feet of the actual unit, it's the same, but inside it's greater, because with gas absorption you lose a third of the depth of the refrigerator to the cooling unit. So with this type, you get a third more depth in the refrigerator, so you can hold a lot more stuff. So actually, it's a really good system. Just always remember to close that lock there, because your doors will definitely get dented up if you don't. They'll fly open when you hit the wrong pump. Down here, just while I'm standing here, this is where you would see it says antifreeze inlet. If you take out these two screws here, this one and this one, your water pump and the antifreeze kit is behind here. Always remember that when you're winterizing, if you don't know this already, you can't get antifreeze into the water heater tank because it'll leave a really foul taste and a bad smell. So they give you bypass valves on the back of the water heater, so you can actually bypass it when you're pumping the antifreeze in. You may know all this already. You may have it winterized by other people, or you may do it yourself. If you want to learn to do it yourself, it's not difficult. If you have basic mechanical abilities and basic common sense, you can do it yourself, no problem. It's nothing. It's not rocket science, as they say. Your thermostat here for your furnace and air conditioner, you just hit the mode button once to light it up. Right now we're on cool high, cool low, cool auto, cool low auto, cool high auto. That's what you want. You always want to run the air conditioner on auto if you can, instead of choosing the fan speed. All right, heat, obviously. Fan, which is just the air conditioner running without the compressor. Okay, so we'll go back to high auto, and that's where we would leave it. Once it gets cooled down and it's a regular day, you can put it on low auto, and you should be just fine. The thing about these, it takes a long time to cool down, obviously, because you're cooling down the entire trailer. All the building materials that are inside are super hot from, you know, being pulled down the road and being stored out in the sun and that sort of thing. So it takes a while to get rid of the heat to chase it out, but once you get it cooled down, it will cool down much quicker. Just keep that in mind. You're cooling something off that's really hot inside. All right, so you can drop the table down by pulling the legs out and storing them, and then you can put the top on these cleats down here and fill in the space with the cushions, and you got a bed here. This bed jackknifes flat. You just grab it down here and pull it flat, and you've got another bed. Let me make sure I'm telling you what's happening. Okay, yes, that's accurate. So you got another bed there. This device down here, just so you know, is the LP gas and LP gas and carbon monoxide detector. So if it goes off, it's telling you that you got a carbon monoxide buildup or LP gas leak. So you take everybody outside, shut the gas off at the front, and figure out what's going on, okay? It should always be green like that when it's just sitting there. You want that green LED on. If that ever goes out, you want to get it serviced. It's very important that you make sure that this is working. You can run it through test here. One test for LP gas, the next one for carbon monoxide, and then back to green. So, okay? Alright, so the other device, I guess I'll show you that now. You go in the bunk room here. This is the power converter. Let me get some lights up down in here. Every light, of course, has a button in the middle. Even if it doesn't work with a switch, it'll have a master switch, it'll have a button. So this device here is the power converter. Alright? What this does, it converts 110 AC down over to 12 volt DC. So you open it up by pushing it there. So you can see on this side, you've got regular household circuit breakers right here. Okay? And they're all labeled. Then the power is converted over to 12 volt DC, and you have 12 volt fuses here, and they're labeled. If any of these fuses were to blow, they'll actually light up, and you can see it through the, you can see it through the tinted plastic right there. So you would know, you can see it glowing there. Also, when you're plugged into shore power, this will charge your battery. So it always keeps your battery charged up also, as long as you're plugged in. So that's why I showed you there's a kill switch on the battery, but you always want to keep it on unless you're putting it into storage for a long period of time. One of the reasons you shut it off when you're in storage is because I showed you the LP gas and carbon monoxide detector. Those, for example, are hardwired to the battery. So even if you shut all the lights off, it's still going to draw power, right? So it'll draw your battery down in storage faster than it would than just sitting there. But when you always want the battery on. Other times, because when you're towing it, your alternator is going to be charging it, your trailer, and when you're plugged in at the campsite, this power converter is going to be charging it. So you always want it on. The battery on. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Obviously, you got lots of storage here, which is a good thing. It's kind of unusual, actually. It's a good thing. And you've got 4 bunks back here. You have plenty of room for kids and grandkids and friends. Okay, so the sink in the shower work like any other sink and shower. The thing to remember that all the plugs are wired to a GFCI, even the one on the outside. So if they blow, you reset them inside. Okay. The thing to know about the bathroom is the toilet will not. The toilet has to have chemical and some water in it to start using it. So you can see it's got a flush pedal right here. Hopefully you can see that. Let me get down here, right there. Okay. So you get to the campsite, you plug in, you hook up your water, right? So then you'll come in here to the bathroom, and you'll take your chemical, whichever brand chemical you use, and you'll put 1 dose right in there. Then you'll step on the flush pedal, flush it in there. Because the water's hooked up, so the black tank is directly below down there. Because the water's hooked up, water will be swirling out, and you'll just stand on the pedal and put about a gallon or so of water in the tank. There's no way to tell exactly what a gallon is. Just use your common sense. That's about a gallon, you know. The bottom line is you want to have some water in there and chemical to start using this toilet. Never use it when the black tank is empty or dry, right? So you always put chemical and water to start off. Now, if you were going to stay at the same campsite, let's say, and you were going to stay for another week, but you had to dump the tank, the black tank, because it's full, after you dumped it, you'd come in here and you'd repeat the procedure. You'd put the chemical right in there, step on the pedal, put about a gallon of water in there. Okay, so that's simple enough. All right, so I think I've got everything except up front in the bedroom, which there's not. Everything's pretty self-evident up there. That is your escape window. To operate it, obviously, it's normally in this position, right? So hopefully you can see that. So you can ventilate like that. But if you needed to escape, you'd push this all the way through. Then you grab a hold of this red tab and pull the screen out, and out you go. And there's no sticker here, but there is a backer board right here. Let me show you where I'm at so you know. There's a backer board right here, and you can see you've got TV hookups here. You got antenna and power, so you can hang another TV right there to watch while you're laying in bed. All right. Okay. I think I've got it. So, I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Remember what I said, you have to inspect your roof. It's very important. As a trailer owner, it's just something you have to do. And always bypass your water heater before you pump any antifreeze into the system. Thank you very much.